Morning, love bugs. Happy Friday, Junior. So I wanted to come to you guys and talk to you guys about something that was on my heart. So I had a client come to me on Tuesday, and we were talking, and I could tell her energy was a little heavy. And we just got to talking about some things, and she was telling me the things that she had gone through, and some things that were still like bothering her, and some things that like she still had PTSD from. And one of the things that I noticed her say was, she was like, before all of this happened, I was so happy. I was always sewing into and encouraging other people. I was always smiling. I was always positive. She said, and now I don't even know who I am anymore. And she said, she was like, I can't tell you the last time that I smiled. She was like, I'm not really the happiest right now. And, she was like, I just, these things happened to me over a decade ago, and I just don't understand why they're still bothering me. Like, I want to be healed from them. And so it made me think of a couple of things. I think that we all can relate to what she was saying and what she's gone through, because we've all been there in some sort of capacity, right? And so I ended up telling her that, like, look, first and foremost, there's no time limit or time frame on healing. I think that as Black women, we feel like we have to be okay for everybody else around us. And I posted a video about this, like with my own vulnerability and my own frustrations at the time of that video. We always have to be okay for everybody around us, and you really don't owe anybody that. Like, yes, a lot of us are mothers and we have children, and we have to be there for our children. But what I'm learning to do for myself is I'm learning to be more transparent, even with my kids. Like, not in a way where my older kids would have to worry, or my younger kids would be like, what's wrong with mommy? But just explaining to them in a level that they can understand. So for instance, if I'm having a bad morning, if I, something's on my mind or whatever, I explain to my children, now, you know what, mommy's not really having a good morning. I'm not in a talkative mood this morning. My oldest son, he's like me, he likes to talk a lot. There's some days where I just don't even have the mental capacity for that. And I won't tell him like, oh, like you talk too much. No, I'll just be like, you know what, baby, I can't right now. Like, I can't right now. I'm tired. Like, let's talk about it after school. That way you're not, because I've always had this conscious thing about not wanting to damage my kids or having them feel like they're not important enough to me, So I explained to her, I said, I've been there. Like, I was in a relationship that sucked the life out of me. Like, by the time I got out of that relationship, I didn't even realize how much I had changed, how much those things had changed me, and how much I was living from a place of survival. Like, like, I don't want to do this because it might look like this, or I don't want to do this because it might be received like this. Like, I couldn't be myself. I had become whoever I thought this person wanted me to be. And in all honesty, like, it didn't work. Because if you're with a person like that, no matter what you do, it's never going to be good enough for a person like that, because they just want to see, how far they can get you. So, I remember her saying, like, I told her, I said, every part of your journey is for a reason, even the hurtful ones. Everything has a place and a reason. I said, that's not to say that you deserved anything that happened to you. But what I've learned in this lifetime is we must learn to validate and love on ourselves the way that we do other people. And so part of that is understanding that whatever happened to you, whatever a person did to you, that has nothing to do with you, the person. You didn't do anything wrong. That is someone else's illness, sickness, demons, negative energy, whatever you want to label it as, right? And a lot of the time, especially as women, we internalize what other people do to us. And then we let that, at the same time as we're internalizing that, we are also trying to tell ourselves, hey, we're okay. And then you end up losing your fucking mind, in all honesty. And so one of the things that I told her when I started my healing journey and really was intentional about letting go and releasing the things that had happened to me. One of the things that I learned to do was validate myself. So acknowledge, hey, this hurt. This didn't feel good. This was messed up. Hey, because of this, I feel like XYZ. I feel like this was taken from me. Also, forgiving yourself. Sometimes we're so hard on ourselves, and we'll be like, I can't believe I let this happen to me, or I can't believe I let this person do this to me. Give yourself some grace. You know what? I have a big heart. I love that about me. But maybe I shouldn't give this big heart to everybody. A lot of the time, us as women, we stay too long. So there's times where it's not that your big heart is not the problem. It's us lacking boundaries that's the problem. You know what I mean? Like, I always say that God is love, and so we are supposed to love one another. But some people don't need the level of love or the amount of love that you have to give, right? So, in her case, in her situation, I told her, like, you pretty much just depleted your energy. That's all it was. You just depleted yourself. You were giving and giving and giving to a person that was designed to take and take and take and take and take, and they weren't sewing back into you. And that's why you feel that way. I told her, I said, be patient with yourself. Love on yourself. When you get to feeling like that and you get down and out, you just remind yourself that, you know what? If I could give a person like that much love, imagine how much love I can give the person that God has for me. Imagine how much love, my future husband is going to give back. That's how you look at those things. I told her, I said, get back into, nurturing those things that you love about yourself. And then start really being honest with yourself about the things that maybe you don't desire too much. And start loving on those. There were some things that she was telling me, and I was explaining to her that some of the things that are happening to you internally are things that you have let fester and manifest. I think a lot of us don't understand or don't realize that there are times where we may feel like we're sick, or we may have an ache or a pain, and it's not because of anything that is physically happening to you. It's because you have held onto this energy for so long that energy is just as toxic as you putting a chemical in your body, and you've now made yourself sick energetically and spiritually. And so I think that this is a season. I just bring this up because I've heard a lot of these stories from a lot of my clients that I've had lately, and one of the things that we talk about is understanding that this is one of those seasons where God is revealing everything. The veil has been lifted. So there's things that you're seeing. There's things that are being brought to the light. There's a lot of shadow work being done during this period that I'm noticing for myself as well. And so, of course, especially since COVID, it's very common for us to mourn and yearn for what used to be. But I think that we also have to understand that what used to be and what we are mourning are things that ended us up in certain situations or around certain people. And so I always tell people, like, for myself, what I tend to do is when I get down and out and I get to feeling like this, one of the things that I do is I thank God for the other side. I get excited about the other side. I could be down in the dumps and under a rock, and I just be like, you know what, God, I'm tired today. You know what, God, I'm drained today. Please lift this burden up off of me. But at the same time, I thank you for what and who I'm going to be when I get to the other side of this. And that's pretty much how I look at it. Like, everybody, I know that I'm kind of speaking towards women, but that doesn't mean that men, that you aren't important. If you're watching this too, it's just my demographic is usually women. But anybody that is under the sound of my voice, understand that this is a healing season. And sometimes in order to heal, you got to hurt a little bit more first. Sometimes there's things that come as you're healing. You're going to feel like, oh, okay, I got this, I'm cool. And then God's going to be like, hold on, because there's this over here you got to work on. And a lot of us as well, remember that a lot of us, while we're doing the work as adults, we're also healing our inner child. So there's 12-year-old you that's still reaching out, that needs a little help and love and assistance and an extra hug and things like that as well. So if you're seeing this, I pray encouragement over you all. I pray love. I'm sending positive vibes your way. I pray that in this season that everybody under the sound of my voice is blessed with a group of, I'm not even going to say like-minded, I'm going to say a group of positive, loving individuals, and that anybody that you come in contact with is food for your soul. Have a beautiful day.